All right, so for today, is a warm-up problem for April 7th. We're going to do quadratic formula. So solving this, finding the roots or the zeros using the quadratic formula. You'll see I put the quadratic formula I put above. It's negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2 times a. So our first step is let's list out what our a, b, and c values are. So a equals 1, b equals 3. That's just a cursor there, a frozen spot in that spot. So we have a b of 3, and then our c term is minus 6. So I want you guys to, I'm going to stop here. I'm going to have you guys solve it out, and then we'll go over the solution. All right, so I gave you the what the coefficients or the constants were that were coefficients in front of the x squared term and the x term, so the a and the b, and then the c ended up being a negative 6. So now we're just going to plug our values into the quadratic formula. So we're going to get negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 3 squared. Wow. My stylus is not writing well today. Minus 4 times a, which was 1, times c, which was a negative 6. And this is all over 2a. All right, so we're going to solve this out. We get minus 3 goes negative 3, plus or minus 3 squared is 9, minus 4 times negative 6 gives me a positive 24, all over 2. And so this ends up being, I'm just going to get rid of that last part. This ends up being negative 3 plus or minus square root of 33 all over 2. All right, so that would be your solution for this. Remember, there's in this case there's 2 roots or 2 x-intercept values with a parabola. So it's negative 3 plus the square root of 33 over 2, and negative 3 minus the square root of 33 over 2. One other thing I just wanted to mention was we should never end up with a negative value underneath the radical sign. That would be an imaginary number, and that's something that you'll get into when you get into Algebra 2. But if you end up getting a negative, so if you get a negative underneath the radical sign, you'll know that you did something wrong. You didn't change one of the signs. You should never end up with a negative under there in Algebra 1. Algebra 2, you will end up with that. All right, that'll be all for now, and we'll get into the lesson next.